Ladies and gentlemen, let's game into the video. If you're navigating the Xbox One dashboard with Kinect-based gestures, I've got some bad news for you. Microsoft have revealed that it will be removing this functionality when this week's new Xbox One Experience update goes live. And the reason behind it, Microsoft admits that the usage statistics when it comes to the physically swiping through menus and that type of thing is very, very low. On gestures, when we looked at the Xbox One Experience, we wanted to prioritize features that what customers were asking for, plus areas of improvement for the existing Xbox One UI. And this is told by Microsoft's Mike Ybarra, hopefully I'm pronouncing his name correctly. Then, we wanted to look at the use case model of features that take a lot of investment and say, is this worth continuing investing in this area? With gestures, the reality was the usage was very, very low, so for now, we've cut that for the new Xbox One Experience, so when we launch, they won't be in the product. We'll continue to monitor and listen to feedback to see if people want them. Now, it is worth noting that that's not to say that the Xbox One Kinect is suddenly not going to be able to recognise gestures on software which relies on it. That will no longer, that's not the case at all. But what it does mean is that the dashboard itself, and more specifically Microsoft's, support of this on the UI, is going to start diminishing. Now, there are definitely some benefits. We all know that the new UI is going to be considerably faster. Reports are about 50%. There's also other benefits, such as, of course, it's going to reduce CPU and GPU cycles, extra memory. In other words, better performance, and potentially that could also move into the game itself. But I guess the big deal here is that Microsoft themselves know that that requires a lot of maintenance. They have to make sure that Kinect is working, they have to make sure that all of the navigation, the UI, all of that is 110% supported with Kinect, which means a lot of bug testing. So in their minds, it's like, they don't give the user statistics, but let's say it's 10%, 20% of customers. I'm just making a reasonable assumption if they're saying that the usage is very, very low. So let's say it's 10, 15, 20%. Is it really worth putting that level of optimization, sucking up that amount of performance from the system, whatever that is, for a very small minority of users? Probably not. With that said, I never use Kinect on my system. I have no interest in even buying Kinect. We all know that Kinect was removed back in 2014, more specifically May 2014. Now, Microsoft cited at that time it was more choice for fans. Unfortunately, we all know that at the beginning Microsoft told everyone that it was not possible to decouple Kinect from the Xbox One, which led people to be really suspicious. And then, of course, eventually we found out that you can actually just decouple Kinect with the Xbox One. And I think it's fair to say that Kinect, as a whole, has been a bit of a noose around the Xbox One's neck, which is a bit of a shame. I personally believe, and this is my own personal opinion, that the Xbox One would have done better without Kinect at launch. It should have been an optional extra, kind of like the Pro and the standard arcade version of the original, well, not original, but the Xbox 360. And then, of course, the regular version would have been cheaper, and that probably would have increased adoption rate of the Xbox One. I think it's fair to say that the increased price of the Xbox One, thanks to Kinect, definitely hurt the system. And while Microsoft have cited many times over that they are still going to be supporting the Xbox One, let's face it, with this move, they're not really doing it much favours, are they? They're not really doing it many favours at all, because obviously that's another reason that people are not going to really want to buy the Kinect. And so I do wonder if internally Microsoft do kind of regret this whole decision. Now, to be fair to the team, the Xbox One is a very different console to what it was, let's say, 2 years ago, roughly. Because it's fair to say that the Xbox One, when it first launched, I mean, obviously, even the PlayStation 4 has evolved quite a bit in terms of the UI and the actual games available, but for the Xbox One, even the philosophy behind the system has improved considerably, at least in my opinion. And now Microsoft are trying to be rather competitive, because we all know that Christmas season is almost here, the holiday season, Halo is out, Rise of the Tomb Raider out in just a day or two, depending on your region, and with all of the other games as well, Microsoft are trying to be as aggressive as possible, and therefore they need to ensure that as many customers are as happy as possible, and naturally, if this is one of those things they have to cut, then so be it. I do wonder, however, how much of a difference the non-support, I guess, of the Kinect swipe and gesture functionality is going to make in terms of raw performance. I imagine it will free up some resources. Unfortunately, at the end of the day, I don't have a breakdown of the, I guess you could say, resources hoovered up. And I imagine that if there is a possibility they will bring it back, it probably won't be reallocated to game developers for now. Because let's say, for the sake of argument, that Kinect functionality, that part of Kinect functionality takes up 50 megabytes in memory, and obviously I'm just throwing an arbitrary number, and they can't give that 50 megabytes to developers, and then let's say feedback tells them, hey, you know what, we actually want that Kinect functionality back, we want gestures. Then they can't remove that 50 megabytes from developers if they've already put out patches or put out full games which use that 50 megabytes of memory. Anyway, let me know your thoughts on this one. Personally, I feel it's the best move if their usage statistics support it being the best move. I just wish, personally, that Microsoft had never made Kinect mandatory, especially for early adopters. While I've got no interest in Kinect personally, I do know people who do enjoy it and do like it, but I think the vast majority of people, at least Xbox One owners I know, while some do enjoy it, the vast majority probably wish that it hadn't been made such a big part of the system to begin with. Anyway, let me know your thoughts and opinions on this one. With that said, I'm going to get going. Take care. Bye for now.